This week on the Steam Machine podcast, we played a game and it's called Subnautica. Called Subnautica. Called Subnautica. This game's filled with thalassophobia. Thalassophobia. I shit my pants, bruh. Cue the music! Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Steam Machine podcast. It is spooky season, and my name is Dalton. Joining me this week is one half of the Destructo-Bros.
Hey, what's up? It's Willie. I'm back.
And we also have one Team Retrogue. Mikhailov, how you doing?
Settle up, boys. This episode's about to get really deep.
Like my nuts in your butt.
You saddle up a lot of fish.
What?
Have you said?
It's a really mixed metaphor, dude. You came in with saddle up like we were playing a cowboy game.
Oh, I didn't think of a fish reference. Dang it. I ruined my own pun.
It's okay. We can reel this in. It's all good.
Oh,
so,
God. I'm just fishing for dad jokes these days.
and you're quite carp at it.
That's pretty crappy, dude.
Well, you know, it's a good thing you guys are my chums.
Yeah, so we don't drop the bass.
We did not play a fishing game.
I had to say that word so weirdly.
Bass.
Bass. I would argue that there is a lot of fishing in this game.
Okay, you know what? Fair. There is actually quite a bit of fishing in this game.
Just not in the sense of angling.
So,
You know, I know we're not into the game yet, but are you guys surprised that for a game that takes place mostly in water, you don't get a fishing rod?
I thought I'd at least get like a
I'm kind of happy that they did it the way they
fishing
did.
spear or something.
A spear would have made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how are you boys doing? Let's start off with Mikhailov. You're staring at something off screen. What's up, man? How are you?
Oh, so, busy man. I'm also very exhausted, so if I become old sleepy boy Mick, I apologize in advance. So I can finally talk about what I was doing last week.
So talk about it, motherfucker.
So, I got invited to New York City to get a first look at the new ROG Xbox handhelds. And so I went into the city on Wednesday, and I went to the event. I got about 2 hours hands-on with both units, and I did a video that came out this morning, which had to come out this morning because the embargo lifted, which is why I couldn't talk about it on the show last week. And I didn't get a review unit, even though I begged them for one. And they had units in under a table, and I saw them, and I knew that they were just like, no, those aren't for you, basically. Like, you know, when you I can't think of a comparison, but when you see something and you think you're getting it, and they're like, yeah, no, those are for somebody else.
Yeah.
That type of thing. So I pre-ordered one a couple months ago anyway, and that's tomorrow. I got to go to Best Buy and pick it up. But I did get to go hands-on. I did get to get an early look. Some of my bigger YouTuber friends actually did get units to take home. So their videos are a little bit more in-depth than mine, but it was still a cool time because while I was there, I went to Book Off, which basically, if you don't know what a Book Off is, it's a used everything store, but they're very Japan-centric, so you can go and get import everything there. You get import
That's
games,
cool.
You can get manga, you can get toys.
Pause.
I mostly went to look at the Switch games, which I didn't see anything great there. Go ahead.
Did you say manga?
Manga.
So I was just curious.
Manga D's nuts.
I was just curious. Continue.
Manganese?
But what was I supposed to say, Dalton?
I think it's manga.
I thought it was manga.
I think it's mango.
I feel like this is a generation divide thing where people our age were saying manga at the time, but manga is the correct pronunciation, and that's what they call it these days.
You kids reading the mangas.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we sound. We sound like when my dad calls it ramen noodles.
Happy Console Gamer on YouTube is like in his 40s or 50s now, and he certain animes and stuff, like he will pronounce it the way that someone who wouldn't, he just pronounces it.
Akira, Naruto.
Yeah, like Naruto, things like that.
I do that. I do that as a joke. I say Naruto for the same reason that I say I'm going to Myers or Kroger's, because I think it's funny to do so.
Oh, I say Naruto just to piss off the kids. Are you watching the Narutos?
Yes, it's like saying fork. It's like saying fork knife or Minecraft.
Yeah.
Or the Dragon Balls.
Or looking at any video game system and calling it a Nintendo. Are you playing that darn old Nintendo?
That was my
Game
grandparents'
Station
special.
Yeah.
You playing your Sega tapes on that Nintendo?
Okami Game Sphere.
Okami Game Sphere. Dude, that thing. I love in the Fractured Butthole where you can go into some of the bedrooms and it's sitting there and you can turn it on and it'll go, oh, come on, Game Sphere. And then it'll come up like it's loading something, but then it just stays there. But it's just, I love it. So okay, continue.
So I went to Book Off and then I went to the Nintendo World Store and got myself a really nice button-down Zelda shirt. It's like a blue button-down dress shirt that's got like Triforce logos all up and down it in a pattern, and then it's got the Zelda logo on the pocket, like the Twilight Princess logo.
Oh yeah.
And then I picked up a Wispy Woods stuffed animal for my son, which he has not put down since I brought it home.
Oh.
And I got myself this little bad boy because they had him in house.
Lord Zed's penis.
Nice.
Where did you get that?
Lord Zed's penis. Yeah, it's just oddly enough, the man's penis is in the shape of a Z. Very awkward.
Very strange.
Very strange.
You would have thought maybe a
In the
corkscrew.
shape of a Z. Please respect his culture.
Shape of a Z.
That is sweet though. Is that an 8-bit though?
No, that is the official Nintendo Online one.
Oh, okay.
It's got the GameCube logo on it and everything, yeah.
This one is the 8-bit dough.
Okay.
I really like
looking.
this one because this one is really good for retro games because it's got the D-pad up top.
I've heard a lot of good about those controllers online.
Yeah.
As a brand.
From a guy named Team Retro?
Yeah. On YouTube.
Although, oddly enough, remember when we were having trouble playing 11?
Yes.
That was because I was using an 8-bit dough. And for some reason, 11 didn't like the 8-bit dough. Didn't have a problem with a regular Xbox controller, though.
11 was probably like, you didn't exist when I was created.
You're right? So I don't know, like, say what you will about all these third-party controllers. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned, and maybe this is why I really like the new Ally, the new Xbox Ally that's coming out. Nothing to me is more comfortable than just a standard vanilla Xbox controller.
Yeah, I think it has definitely become kind of my game controller of choice for just as a default.
I miss Big Bertha, but
the Duke?
The Duke, yeah. But yeah, Xbox is... And I like that Xbox controllers natively work with Windows because they're both Microsoft.
Right. Because they're both Microsoft.
So it's a plug and play. It's beautiful.
Yeah, never an issue. So the only reason I really don't use Xbox controllers with my main PC desktop is because I don't have a Bluetooth dongle for my main PC rig. But everything else, I'll use an Xbox controller. There was even
my main PC, I just used a wired, cheapo, knockoff Xbox One controller.
Oh, see. Now you're making me want to send you a regular Xbox controller. I have them in droves.
I don't have Bluetooth.
I'll send you a wire. You just plug it in.
Plug it in.
So yeah, that's what I've been up to. And the only other thing I would say is I've been flashing this up on the screen as we've been talking in the Patreon section because I'm configuring it at the same time we've been working. I just got this in today. This is the AYN Thor.
Yeah, that thing looks pretty sweet.
And it's a 3DS clone, but it's a 3DS clone with two OLED screens. And it's got
it looks really bright and nice.
It's got a powerful enough chip that it can emulate 3DS at a 4 times its native resolution. So we're talking like...
Damn.
I don't know what 4 times the 3DS resolution is, but it's freaking like crisp.
It was probably like 480 or 720.
Yeah, I want to say it's 720, but it's dang as if it's not crisp. Like, just the OLED screen combined with the upscaled resolution and the fact that it's still running full speed. Like,
it's amazing that thing was bright enough that when you held it up, your webcam darkened the other lights around it. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how to explain
Gave this little halo, little rim light effect.
Almost like a bokeh. Yeah, it does do that.
Yeah, see?
But it's so bright that you can't even see you can't even see the bottom screen. One nice thing about this, though, is you can actually manually adjust the top screen and the bottom screen separately. So if you need the bottom screen to be not as bright as the top screen, you could just actually manually adjust that separately.
You totally just went into your like YouTube review cadence there. Like the distance between those two sentences sounded like you scripted it out, even though I know you were just speaking.
I was going to say, I was just
impressive.
talking off the cuff. I didn't write a script for this.
I know you were. I know you were based on the wording, but I'm saying like when you started talking, you suddenly got in the mood.
I did. This thing's got me feeling nice, and then it's got this this detachable grip too. That they sent me the grip as well. So I mean, honestly, like,
oh, you know me, I'd be getting that grip.
Yeah, if you're holding it like this, it feels like a regular 3DS, and 3DS was never great to hold to begin with. So with the grip, now you got some butt cheeks.
Hell
so
yeah.
I'm actually really glad they sent me the grip because that's actually going to affect how I do the review. Like, you need that grip.
Yeah, that's one of the first grips I ever got was for my 3DS.
Yeah.
Because it fucking
Yeah, I remember back in the day they made, like, Nerf grips and stuff.
Huh. Man, thinking about custom grips has just got me thinking of all the gimmicky grips they made for the Wii controllers back in the day. All the, like, make it into a tennis racket, make it into a baseball bat, make it into a knife.
Oh, I remember those, yeah. They still do that stuff for the Switch and the Joy-Cons.
I haven't really seen it for the Switch, but I haven't really been looking in stores for Switch stuff either. So
That's
it's probably
true.
on
I don't remember. I think it was for a Resident Evil game. I don't think it was for the Wii. I think this was an Xbox or a PlayStation controller. It might have even been GameCube, but the controller was a chainsaw.
That was Resident Evil. That was one of the Wii. That was like the Wii version of Resident Evil or some shit.
I think it was GameCube.
It might have been GameCube.
But like,
I do remember.
I think it was Resident Evil 4. For the GameCube, it had the...
No, I thought it was the remake of the original that was on GameCube.
That's a possibility, too.
Yeah. I don't remember. I mean, don't quote me on that.
I just remember the controller looking silly, but it looked cool.
Yeah.
But it was, like, impractical to use.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Completely impractical to use, but it's just one of those collector's items.
Yeah. Well, then I guess that's up next. Willie, what have you been up to, man?
Oh, man. Kind of been all up and down the place. Obviously wasn't here for last week's episode because I was undergoing physical troubles and computer troubles at the same time, so that was kind of rough. Between like Wednesday and Thursday, I was kind of going through, like, started to feel like depressed and slow, and then by Friday I was feeling fully properly sick. And on the same day, my computer decided to stop booting.
That's miserable.
And I was a little worried that the computer issue might have had to do with me setting it up for dual booting Linux the previous week. And so, but I ended up just physically kind of taking the whole thing apart. And it turns out the thing that was giving it trouble, and has been every time we've changed any of the parts, because Dalton has sent me upgrade parts multiple times, that when he had a new part he could use and give me a hand-me-down, and I really appreciate that, by the way. But every time he's done that, I've had a lot of trouble getting the computer to start afterward, because I always just thought that things weren't sitting right in the slots, something like that. And it turns out this whole time, the very first time I changed the video card, something went wrong with the chassis fan and it was causing random shorts. Now, I don't know if maybe I plugged it in backwards or what. All I know is the moment I unplugged the chassis fans, the computer started up again, just completely fine.
That's really weird.
It's been running...
Yeah, that does sound like a short to me.
Yeah. And the crazy thing, too, is... sometimes it would boot and it would just act fine, and sometimes it wouldn't, and I couldn't tell what it was. And I always thought that the problem was when Dalton first sent me a graphics card, it was technically too big for my power supply at the time.
Gotcha.
So I just thought that what was happening was I wasn't getting fans and LEDs because the GPU was basically overloading the PSU. And so I just assumed that that's why the fans never came on. Maybe they got damaged in that process. But I think it turns out that I just maybe jostled the cable loose and reinstalled it incorrectly or something at the time. I haven't even tried to reinstall the fans yet, but it works fine now. So now I'm very happy with the way the computer's been acting, and I was able to install all the stuff Dalton has sent me except the CPU. I still haven't done that yet because, again, I was waiting to make sure everything was stable first, and it looks really good now, so we got that going for us. But I got the whole 32 gigabytes of RAM in, which I never was able to do before because I would always change one out, and then the computer would stop booting again, and I just assumed it was something to do with the RAM cards, or the RAM slots, actually. No, it was the fan. It was the chassis fan the whole time.
I'm glad you got that figured out finally, though.
Yeah, seriously.
So nuts too, because I had everything unplugged practically. I realized, okay, so what I'm supposed to have plugged in is just the 8-pin, the 24-pin, and the CPU fan. And then I looked, I'm like, well, what's this plug? Is this going to power? It is. It was the chassis fan. And so I unplugged everything that it went to, pressed the button, and until then what it had been doing was it would kick for a moment, the CPU fan would start spinning, and then immediately stop. And if the GPU was in, it would light up. The GPU would stay lit up. So I knew that there was some kind of power getting to the whole system at least. But it wasn't until I took everything out, and then I unplugged the chassis fan, and all of a sudden it went and just stayed on. And I'm like, okay, let's start putting parts back in without the chassis fan. And everything went back in, and it was fine. It was none of the other things I suspected, which is good, because I was starting to think it was a short on the motherboard or need to replace the power supply.
Oh, I mean,
I'm glad it wasn't the short on the motherboard, because that would have meant a whole new motherboard.
Yeah. I was thinking it was going to be something expensive, so I'm really glad that just unplugging something turned out to be the cause.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And are those fans, are they integral to your build, or are you able to function without them for the moment?
I have been monitoring my computer's heat levels and stuff since, trying to play games with it. And, I mean, it puts off some heat, but the PSU fans basically cover everything the PSU is doing. I mean, the GPU fans cover everything when the game's going pretty intensely. The CPU fan seems to handle the rest. The CPU hasn't been reporting any extra heat, so everything seems to be fine.
And whenever you put the new CPU in, don't be afraid to put a little extra heat sink thermal paste on there because it's not gonna hurt it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I'm just glad that for a couple of years ago I had for some reason I started finding it really reassuring to watch videos of people repairing defective Commodore 64 computers. And so even though the parts aren't the same, it's the general look of a motherboard. I started to be a little bit more comfortable with here's where the RAM goes, here's where the CPU goes, here's what people are doing. And even seeing people replace chips, do thermal paste, even socketing chips that were originally hard soldered to the motherboard and stuff.
yeah.
And so it just made the inside of a computer less mystical to me. Because I've always considered myself a software dude, not a hardware dude.
I've always been meaning to go on. I think I got it free on Epic. And no, I don't mean Frostpunk. I think it was one of the PC Builder games, like PC Repair Simulator or something like that. PC Builder Simulator, and I want to check that out because I'm sure that I could actually learn some things from that if it's actually putting together PCs. And I'm sure there are mods to include real world graphics cards and stuff if it doesn't already have them.
Well, if it's like Car Mechanic Simulator, it's they may be fictionalized models, but you very clearly get kind of an idea
what
of what's
supposed
going
to
on.
be.
And again, and you could just download mods that make it into the name brand
This is not
stuff.
a Ferrari, that's a Ferrero.
It's a Ferrero Rocher. It's sweet
a really
chocolate.
big chocolate car. It's really good.
Getting the chocolate car.
So what else have you been up to, man?
But aside from that, man, this sucks too, because aside from fucking up the computer entirely and only now getting it fixed, I've actually been really happy with running things in Linux. Once I've figured out the partitioning issue, I've been really enjoying getting games to work in it. The thing I was most surprised by is there are games that are running faster in Linux using Wine, that is, running the Windows executable, not a native executable. Some games are working better in Linux than they are for me in Windows right now.
Huh.
Like Pinball FX, they're doing a tournament for the Medieval Madness table in the Tadpog Discord right now. And I've noticed the game boots up like twice as fast under Linux, that I get into the game very quickly, and that the frame rate seems a lot more stable. There's no like hitching.
Hell yeah. How does Space Pinball run?
It could be that...
I'm just kidding.
I haven't tried it, but there's no way it won't run well, because that's like a Windows 95.
Yeah, wasn't I think I sent you an article where that guy accidentally programmed that game to run at like 5 million frames a second or some shit, like some stupid thing like that, because it takes so little processing power.
I wouldn't doubt it. It's a clean little game.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite little Windows pack-ins. It's, to me, people always talk about Hearts, Solitaire, and Minesweeper, but that's on the same level to me.
Speaking real quickly of Minesweeper, so, excuse me, the Pepsi's coming back at me. I've mentioned my brother before. Works for Google. Dude graduated UF with a math honors. Dude's really good at math. My brother is one of those people who actually know how to play Minesweeper.
Yeah, I can never figure that game out.
Fuck me either. I click around randomly and hope for the best. It's a game of chance with me, right? He will be like...
It's a game of calculated chance to me. I get to the point where I can't figure out anything else, and I know it's like a 50-50 or a 33% chance, and I'm just like, I gotta click one of them. I don't know what else to do.
But I watched him one time break it down to me. I don't remember it, of course, because it just went over my head.
The easiest thing is to solve for corners.
For corners?
Like, if you can find not the corners of the board, but like, if you know how sometimes when you click, it gives you this big old wide open space, and then there's a bunch of numbers on the edge. If you can find like the corners on the edges of those, a lot of the times you'll see like a 1 where there's only one thing in a corner related to it and everything else is clear. And that means you automatically know that one's a bomb. You can flag it and you can start working from there.
Okay.
That's the start of my approach.
I'll have to remember that next time I throw my hand at a Minesweeper. But like, he used to like that, and then like the fact that he used to be able to solve a Rubik's Cube in under a minute used to blow my fucking mind.
Well, it sounds like this is why he works for Google. He sounds intelligent as hell.
My brother is very smart. Like, me and him and my dad are having lunch one day, and he just starts explaining what he's been studying lately, which was something to do with like I think quantum physics, or was it just normal physics? It was some shit that like he was halfway through it. And me and my dad kind of looked at each other like, we're obviously just humoring him by listening because we have no fucking clue what he's talking about.
Right.
But I love my brother to death, man. I would listen to him talk about that any day of the week because it is fascinating to me how smart that motherfucker is. But yeah,
sounds it. Like if he could do a Rubik's Cube in under a minute. Like I've taught kids that could do that. I could never do it.
Yeah, it's fuck. I don't know how to solve them in an hour.
Yeah.
As a kid, I learned something from a book that taught you how to do it, but I can no longer remember how to do all of it. So I could solve like the top face and then to the second level of the sides, but the entire bottom will be wrong, and I don't know how to fix it.
Even that's beyond me. I can get one
usually
face.
I usually just rip off the stickers and replace them.
I was just about the joke that Mikhailov just takes the stickers off and puts them back in the right way.
Look, I solved it. It only took me like 2 hours.
I just get one where all the sides are white in the first place. Easy every time.
Have you seen the Rubik's Cube?
I took it out of the box and it was already solved.
Yeah, it was perfect the way it is. Why would I mix it up?
I'm even like, I don't want to call them cubes. Have you seen the ones that are like Rubik's and then they're different shapes other than a cube and you have to deal with that?
Yeah, like the weird sphere one with like a whole bunch of rows.
Fuck.
Yeah, I have no idea how people do that.
Dude.
That seems incredible.
It is beyond me.
Even the like 4x4 ones seem insane.
Yeah, it's like even when you make them even smaller, I feel like that makes them hard. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, like I don't know how you would approach the little 2x2 one. I've seen the 2x2 one. I'm sure it's learnable. But man, I feel like everything you would do to it would mess up the entire rest of it.
Yeah, it's fucking baffling to me, dude.
But now you got me thinking about Rubik's Cube, and now I'm probably going to want to end up buying one in the next few days just to mess with it.
At least they're not super expensive.
No, they're pretty cheap.
So, is there anything else, buddy, or is it?
Let's see. Let's see if I had any game stuff I wanted to talk about. I had another really good run of Rogue today. I made it to floor 23 this time before I got by a Medusa because I didn't realize Medusa's hit hard. I thought, okay, it's an enemy that inflicts a status condition on you. That means, okay, you know how the balance of this kind of game is. It's like an enemy hits hard, has high defense, or inflicts a status usually, right? No, they're like the rattlesnakes at the beginning of the game where they inflict a status and can kill you. And I didn't realize that until I looked at my health and realized I was losing more than 20 HP a turn out of like 60.
Damn.
And that game is all...
Yeah,
You're basically playing an ASCII game.
Yeah, it's completely ASCII, yeah.
Because you sent us a thing the other day that was literally just characters, and you were just like, this room sucks.
Yeah.
There are graphic snobs, and then there is Willie.
Basically, if you see that screenshot, the thing that looks like a box like drawn around it is a room. The @ sign is me, and every capital letter you see there is a monster. And it just spawned me in a room with 15 monsters. Which you're not capable of dealing with.
I was going to say, and they spawned that early.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous.
That's nuts.
But I mean, that's kind of the fun of those games, too, is you never know what you're going to get, you know? It's what makes them roguelike. I mean, I guess if it's rogue, it's not roguelike, it's just rogue is.
Yeah, roguish.
It's just rogue. Like, isn't the game just rogue? Like, it's the original?
It's just rogue. It is. It is the one they're all named for.
Yeah, it's the OG.
It's the roguest.
The roguiest rogue.
Rogues. If it touches you,
Rogiginal gangster.
will have your life force drained.
Did you know I called my channel Team Retro because I originally was going to cover both retro handhelds and I was going to cover roguelikes, like, in the same channel. And just as I developed the channel, I realized that people were more interested in the handhelds than the roguelikes, so I just stuck with the handhelds.
I mean, it makes sense. That's more of a niche, I feel like, you know, whereas I feel like roguelike is kind of becoming one of those popular buzzwords to where people are a little fatigued of it at this point almost. Like, where they use it in a way that means nothing except there's permadeath and random terrain generation.
I wouldn't even necessarily call it permadeath.
Yeah.
Like, it's more just... you died, you have to start at the beginning, like most NES games.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, to me, I feel like the line between roguelike and roguelite is like, is it turn-based? Can you react to everything? Like, I think a game has to be turn-based and tile-based to be a hard roguelike instead of a roguelite. But people these days are like, well, Spelunky is a real roguelike because it doesn't have meta progression between levels. And I'm like, that's a platformer game!
Yeah.
It has roguelike elements! It is a platformer!
Yeah, it's just it's one of those things where just...
It's not like I want to gatekeep the term, it's just...
Hey!
If you use the word that way, we don't have a word for the game we're talking about anymore.
Right. If you want to know what gatekeeping is, that's patreon.com/the Steam Machine Podcast.
I wouldn't say that that's gatekeeping. I would say that that's trying to avoid the bastardization of a term.
Yeah, it's like, imagine, okay, back in the 90s, people used the word Doom clone because we didn't come up with first-person shooter yet. Now imagine if we hadn't come up with the phrase first-person shooter, and the term Doom clone by 2002 had come to mean any game where you have a gun and can play deathmatch with other players, regardless of whether it was first-person, regardless of whether it was like a corridor type of game or what. Like, that's basically how far the term is being misused.
Over-the-shoulder Doom clone.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And people would be like, well, where I draw the line is I think Contra is a real Doom clone. And it's like, I just get mad and fall asleep. That's basically how I feel about what happened.
Get so mad you just lose consciousness.
You end up shutting down.
He has anger-activated narcolepsy.
I'm so angry I can take a nap. Oh, that's...
my brain's like, well, if you're not going to work, clearly I'm not going to. Bye.
I can't process what just happened, so just good night.
Somebody smack Willie in the back of the head to reset him. Oh, okay, we're good.
You gotta unplug the fan from his chassis.
That's the problem. I won't boot back up until you do. My eyes will open, I'll blink at you twice and go back to bed.
Tremendo.
Oh.
So what about you, Dalton?
Me? Little old me?
Little old Dalton Suter.
I played a little more Tricky Towers. I think I mentioned last week that I got that for the crew. because it was on sale.
That makes sense. That makes sense because I noticed it had started to install itself on Linux, and I don't remember doing that on purpose. So I think I started to install it on Windows, paused it, and then it remembered that I was going to install it.
But yeah, that game's fun, man. It's just like Tetris with physics and balance, and it's a fun little game. It's a good one to like. That I think Mikhailov, I think you and I mentioned this a little bit last week. Whereas it's a good game for me to play before work. Because it's hard for me to find a game that I have to dedicate attention to.
Yeah. Yeah, we had that conversation last week.
If I only have like an hour and a half before work. So
yeah. Yeah, see, for me, I think
so
that's
like
been Pokemon these days.
Kind of like the slightly longer version of like when we used to have mobile toilet games, basically.
Yeah. I mean...
Like Jetpack Joyride or Temple Run.
I mean, remember when our
Bejeweled?
mobile toilet games were Snake on the flip phone?
I remember Snake. Snake, man. I remember. What was the? God, was it Mafia Wars?
Fancy.
No, that was a Facebook game. Never mind.
Are you talking about on the TI-83?
Yeah, drug
cartel.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. This was a Facebook game back when Facebook had games like Farmville and stuff like that. There was one called Mafia Wars.
Oh, Mafia City.
Yeah.
It was called Mafia Wars.
It was called Mafia Wars.
It's called Mafia Wars. And it was just like a little like browser-based game, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I kind of miss those browser-based games. I tried to make one once, and that's how I learned that I hate the PHP language more than any other programming language in the world. Like you've seen me whine about JavaScript before. Ain't got nothing on PHP, dude.
Yeah, I don't even know what PHP is. So to tell you how little I know about programming,
it's bad. Someone once made a metaphor about it. It's like, imagine a carpenter learned how to build houses, but the way he learned how to use his hammer was by holding it by the head and swinging the bottom at things. And he could show you houses that work. It's just all the rooms were shaped like pentagons. And that's basically PHP. It almost is good enough, so people kept using it, even though every part of it was unsuited to the task.
So what else have I been doing, dude? So I'm going to bore Jeff a little bit here. So I watched the wrestling pay-per-view this past weekend. Really enjoyed.
I still need to catch that match that you were telling me about, by the way. I still haven't got around to it yet, but I absolutely is on my...
John Cena versus AJ Styles, one of the matches of the year, if not the match of the year. But because of that, I've been playing a lot of Pro Wrestling Sim, which is the text-based wrestling booking game. And I have just been having a fucking blast with this game. I don't understand why. Like, I've been having more fun with this than the last couple times that I've played, like, 2K and things like that.
I always really enjoyed the games like, I can't remember if it was
Total Extreme Wrestling
Revenge or Total Extreme Wrestling. Because they were related. They were about the same guy. I can't remember which one I had, but I remember having a ton of fun with that game back in the day. Just fantasy booking the world's stupidest league from a roster of, like, everyone that was really in wrestling at the time.
And this is the same style of game, but Pro Wrestling Sim is a bit more streamlined, a little more user-friendly. I think Total Extreme Wrestling still is a little more in-depth when it comes to certain things. But my rosters come together, dude, like my women's roster is fucking stacked because I've got some WWE wrestlers when their contracts came up. And I've got some Stardom wrestlers when their contracts came up. But it is Grumpy Jeff's Pro Wrestling. And I am playing as Grumpy Jeff.
Nice.
And it's been a blast. Like, I'm on the roster, me, Dalton. I am one of the backstage staff. I got Ryan as the referee. I did mention in the host chat and in the host chat with Dane and Jeff that if y'all hit me with a selfie, I can cut you out in GIMP, throw you on a transparent background, and throw you in the game and make you part of the staff if you guys want to be part of it or whatever. But
yeah, I just need to take a better picture.
It's been a blast.
Yeah, I've been meaning to do that too.
Some like the first big main stars that I got were Tyler Black, which is Seth Rollins, but of course you can't use Seth Rollins because you're not WWE, so he is Tyler Black. He was my first champion, and then I got Saya Kamatani who is the current Wonder of Stardom champion, who's that's the main champion over there. And I freaking fell in love with her just watching one of her matches. In fact, if you, Mikhailov, you asked me before in Discord, you were like, what is Joshi Journey? right? So that is my channel for quote unquote my Josie journey, and I because I'm new to that stuff. So like whenever I learn it or I watch a match that I think's really good, I post it there just for other people to check out if they want.
Got it.
That match.
I noticed it was a new channel. I was like, new channel. What's Dalton getting himself into?
I believe it was Saya Kamatani versus Tam Nakano.
Okay.
Oh shit. Well, their names are in Japanese, so I can't read it right offhand. But I believe it was the match that retired Tam Nakano. Anyway, fucking fantastic match for like those chicks beat the dog shit out of each other. There is WWE wrestling, and then there is wrestling in Japan. And wrestling in Japan, they beat the dog fuck out of each other, dude.
Yeah.
I'm always really surprised by how violent, like, especially like the cruiserweight, junior heavyweight, and women's wrestling is. They like really lay it on.
Yeah, dude. Like some of the stuff, like they'll like knee each other in the face, and you will cringe because you're like, oh my god, that looks like it's so stiff. But anyways,
I mean, I went to a real world wrestling event. It wasn't like a major like WWE or anything like that. It was just like a local thing. And
local shows can be fun, man.
Oh no, they slam each other down on that pavement.
Hey, the closer you get to the action, the more you really can appreciate it. Because until you've been right in front of it, it's easy to assume that like the ring is just a soft trampoline or whatever. And no, when you hear the noise it makes,
that's me and Ryan had a whole new appreciation when we had to put the ring together. So we saw exactly how little padding goes into that fucking thing, and that underneath it is a bunch of steel bars with big slats of wood. That's it. It's fucked, man. Yeah, I've really been having a lot of fun with Pro Wrestling Sim. I've put a shitload of time into it in the past week. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I pretty much played that instead of Subnautica for the last 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, I haven't done much.
I mean, Subnautica was supposed to be a 1 week game, so
I haven't done
please,
much.
listeners, don't get too mad at us if we don't, if we bring the 1 week game energy to this one.
I mean, I haven't done much Subnautica either this week. Last week I went hard on it. This week I just had too much going on with Team Retrog and the channel and work to really focus and hone in on it. But I played
like I said, I was either sick or out of computer.
I played a lot of Subnautica,
I feel like you maybe get the furthest out of all of us. I guess we'll find out when we get to the game.
No, because what you were playing before, I hadn't done that.
Yeah, but you might have explored other areas too. I've really kept it close to the wreckage.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like I only went about one. Okay, yeah, that's game talk.
I'm ready to get into game talk if you guys are.
I do have one other thing I wanted to touch on. I wanted to give an update on my new gig.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes,
Let's hear about the gig.
I really enjoy it. Like you know, it's customer service, so you get your people who come in who can be, you know, people, but for the most part, everyone's been super chill. Everybody I work with is fantastic. Like, they're all great. Shout out to.
I feel like you're kind of self-selecting for a clientele that'll be a little bit more chill than average too.
Yeah, and there are people who come in that I'm like, you should be a lot more chill because of what's taking place here. What's going on, man? Like, you know, like what the fuck? So one of the guys that I work with, I believe I gave him a shout out last week, but I'm gonna give him a shout out again. His TikTok is Dropkick Buzz, and that's BUZ with 1 Z. And I think that he's the same on YouTube. It's Matt that I work with. Super cool dude, man. He's the one that I started chatting with him about wrestling, and me and him are both wrestling fans. The other day we had a strain called Funky Monkey. So of course I went, oh, fuck it like a monkey, baby. And he was like, oh, God damn it, I'm never going to be able to see that strain and not think about Dustin. I was like, I was like, dude, I'm telling you. So, Willie, I wanted to tell you this because I thought that you particularly would find this funny. I'm walking into the bathroom and he's talking to somebody else because he was going to an AEW show, and he was talking about how he likes going to local shows too. And as I'm entering the bathroom, I hear him say, Dalton would refer to those as mud shows, probably. So I take my piss and I get done and I come back out, and I went up to him. I said, what's this about me and mud shows? And he goes, oh, I just figured that, you know, you would call a local indie show like a mud show. And I went, God damn, fucking outlaw mud show bullshit. And he went, how did I know that you like Cornette? And I was like, I don't know, man. He goes, dude, I love that guy. He has terrible takes on modern wrestling. But fuck do I love listening to him because that dude is such a wealth of knowledge about old wrestling. I was like, exactly.
That's a very, very reasoned point on him, I feel like.
And it just cracked me up. I was like, this motherfucker pegged me for a Cornette fan. Like, what the fuck? He wasn't wrong, though. That's the thing. He wasn't wrong. But yeah, so everybody's super chill. I showed a couple of the girls yesterday some of my rap stuff that I've done on TikTok, and they were like, okay. Oh, you're actually good at this. And I was
wow.
Yeah. I just do it for fun. I was like, I'm not particularly like interested in blowing up with it or anything because I don't feel like I give off a rapper persona, but I have fun with it.
Yeah.
If anything, I'd be like a little dicky. You know what I mean? Just like nerdy rapper guy. But anyway, we got a game to talk about. Enough about that stuff. I'm enjoying the gig.
I'm glad that you're like finally landed somewhere where
you're not immediately getting stressed to hell and badgered and
I was gonna
the
say where he's not getting treated like total dog water, but yeah, what you said is
Agreed.
fine too.
Yeah,
both.
Well, I agree with you.
Also, where I'm not having to lug around 9,000 pounds on a pallet jack. That's nice too.
Yeah.
But yeah, boys.
Good for your back, I imagine.
Yes, for my back, my knees.
So you would say that these days you're under a little less pressure, but let's get into some really high pressure, water pressure, that is.
Let's get deep. Let's dive in, boys. Let's get down to the depths. Let's get our toes wet.
But first, let's first get our toes wet with that obligatory Wikipedia bullshit.
Subnautica is a 2018 action-adventure survival game developed and published by Unknown Worlds Entertainment. The player controls Riley Robinson, a survivor of a spaceship crash on an alien oceanic planet, which they are free to explore. The main objectives are to find essential resources, survive the local flora and fauna, and find a way to escape the planet. Subnautica was released in early access for Windows December 2014, Mac OS in June 2015, and Xbox One in May of 2016. The game was released out of early access in January 2018. With versions...
So 4-year EA.
Yeah,
damn.
With versions for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in December of 2018. Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S versions were released in May 2021. The game received generally positive reviews from critics and sold over 5 million copies by January 2020. And then they did a spin-off called Below Zero. And there is... this probably is the time to bring it up, but I don't know enough about it to give a lot of info, so I would say if I had to reference it, I would go on YouTube and look up Dropped Frames talking about it because they have a lot more information than I do, but there's a lot of fucky shit going on with Subnautica 2.
I've heard.
Like with court cases and the developer and the publisher going at it and just all kinds of crazy shit, people getting fired. There's a lot going on with Subnautica 2 that I wish I had looked up more about, but I forgot to do so. I meant to and forgot.
Which stinks because it looks like it's shaping up to be a good game, but unfortunately, yeah.
It's got a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
It's got some baggage.
I hate that too. Like, fucking, like, I want to get into the Star Control games, but there was a huge dispute over the intellectual property rights between the people that made the game and the people that bought the name, essentially. And it just turned into a whole shit show, and it makes me, like, less interested in both sides, you know?
So
I'm coming at this from the other side of things now that I actually played this game on Linux fully instead of booting it through Windows like I had for the previous games. And I'll go ahead and I guess I can do this little segment, which is this game is rated as verified on Steam Deck and gold on ProtonDB, which is the second highest rating beyond Platinum. So that means that if you're wanting to run the game under Proton, it'll work perfect on a Steam Deck, and it should work, although you might need to make some adjustments under Proton on a normal Linux PC.
Which, by the way, props to you for going Linux for gaming and taking advantage of using that Proton layer, because that is going to free up so many resources for you without having that Windows bloat in the back end.
I still can't believe how much better some games are running under a Proton layer than they were in native Windows, just because there's so much shit going on in the background in Windows.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't even take one of the really lightweight Linux distributions. I'm using Mint. Mint is not like cutting edge. Mint has a lot of stuff that's supposed to make it more user friendly, and it still is running a lot better than Windows for the most part for me.
Yeah, no, I love the work that they've done on the translation layers and all that. That's just absolutely insane to me that you can basically run native Windows games through Linux without having to have a Linux version.
Yeah, mad props to everyone who's ever worked on Wine, and especially props to the people that worked on Proton, which is kind of the Steam-backed version that has made it more gamer-specific.
Mm-hmm.
So, Willie...
And I think it really was the Steam Deck that's made these kinds of translation layers possible.
I, honest to God, will say that the Steam Deck gave me the confidence to view Linux as a potential gaming system, instead of as, emulator hell that'll never work. Just seeing that they're willing to stamp the name Valve on a console that runs Linux running Windows games makes me think, okay, if Valve thinks it's okay, there must be something to it.
Right.
And admittedly, SteamOS is a variation on Arch instead of mine, which Mint is a variation on Ubuntu, which is a variation on Debian, so it's a different family of Linux. It's all Linux under the hood.
There are builds of SteamOS out there now by third-party developers and indie developers that run off of a Fedora base. And you still get the Proton compatibility. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's kind of awesome.
Dane just needs to change his pants now after listening to this conversation.
You said Fedora, man. We're done.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. He's an Arch for life type of guy. You know the ones.
Yeah, no, he is. His pronouns are Arch and Linux.
It literally, yeah. His Discord pronouns are set to Arch/user.
Yeah, that was it. Arch/user.
So, Willie, this was your choice, my good sir. So I have 2 questions for you. 1, what made you pick this? 2, first impressions.
What made me pick this was when Nate was trying to find a game. It was a little bit more than a year ago. I don't think it was October. I think it was just normal season. He was going to pick basically an underwater game. By coincidence, it came down to either this or BioShock. He picked BioShock, and I wanted to see both of them, so I kind of just made a check mark in my head like Subnautica sometime soon. And I figured that the game has enough elements of just the fear of the deeps, the fear of the huge, thalassophobia and gigantophobia, I believe are the terms. General agoraphobia in terms of being in open water, that I thought it's a game that can make people pretty scared even if it wasn't intended as a horror game. And so I thought October was the perfect time to play it. I thought if we did it for a week, we could get first impressions, and if we really loved it, we could go back to it again sometime, possibly.
Okay, that's fair. And
so that was my thought process.
And what were your first thoughts loading into it?
First off, I want to say that this is like the first game I had installed the way I did, which is like I did something really stupid. I installed the program using a third-party installer, let's say, under Windows, then copied the Windows directory to my Linux machine and ran that under Proton. So it probably shouldn't have even worked. Something should have screwed up along the way. Proton under Lutris is the launcher I used.
Okay.
So I'm using that for basically everything that isn't a Steam, Epic, or GOG game. So I think that's where I'm running like RuneScape from. That's where I'm running next week's game from. I was really surprised that it like popped up and just worked. Like I really expected to have to fiddle with shit. So I was just so happy that the damn game worked that I was just kind of blown away. Like, wow, I'm playing a Windows game and I'm not even using Windows. Take that, Bill. Because the whole nerd culture thing in the 90s was they were all furious at Bill Gates. He was basically the devil.
People are still furious at Bill Gates for some reason.
Yeah, and I don't get it. I kind of think at this point he's kind of a harmless old dude. And like these days, I think Google actually is what people thought Microsoft was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
Google is an interesting company. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't want to get our YouTube channel taken down for talking too much about Alphabet or whatever.
Yeah, same.
Oh, YouTube
Don't cancel me, YouTube.
YouTube can blow my entire dick for what they've done to my channel.
Yeah, that's
true.
I completely freaking understand. Like,
I still can't tell if you just got hit by the restricted accounts thing, or if you just the algorithm changed and left you behind, or if you are under some kind of punishment. Because that's the way the algorithm works. It's just a mad god that sometimes does things, and you just try to placate it.
I mean, I will tell you that my video that came out today got a little lost in the algo because of embargo. The embargo on the ROG Ally stuff ended at 9 a.m., and I probably should have waited because a whole bunch of videos dropped, and a lot of them are for some very big YouTubers. And so my video got kind of lumped in with theirs, and now I worry it got a little lost in the algo. I think it'll pick up over time because there's usually a trickle down effect. Like, people will watch the bigger YouTubers first, and that'll get them interested in the device, and then they'll come down to me eventually.
That's what I was gonna say.
When they want to know more.
I hear Drop Frames talk about that with Twitch, where if one of the bigger streamers like Co on Drop Frames is a pretty big streamer, Co Carnage, and Zeke makes jokes all the time that he won't play the same game as Co at the same time because everybody's just going to watch Co play it instead of him. So like when Co plays a game, Zeke's like, okay, after you beat it, I'll wait like 6 months and then I'll stream that game. Now that obviously wouldn't work the same with a handheld because that's more of a people want to know before they buy it kind of thing. So waiting 6 months wouldn't be feasible for you for that. But a game is a little different.
But waiting like a week might have been a better play. But I think it'll do better over time. I think it's one of those, like, as we get closer to the holidays, more people will be interested. And just...
Yeah, for
it's doing horrible right now. It doesn't even have 100 views yet.
Well, I don't have that many followers, but I did share it on 3 of my Twitters.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I'm still on that slow grind to 5K.
You're almost there, man. You're almost there.
Yeah, I could taste it, but if it's not taking its sweet ass time.
All right, well, how about I give my first impressions next?
Go for it.
Oh, I just also wanted to say I thought the game was pretty. It was really pretty when I jumped in.
That was one of the first things I noticed. Was I loaded in,
and I for some reason, because again I picked it as a horror game, I kind of forgot that it was going to be a beautiful, colorful game about the ocean.
When I first loaded in, and you go through that opening sequence of your things ejecting, there's a fire, and the metal thing hits you in the face, and you wake up, you're like, oh, you got to spray the fire out. I did that scene 4 or 5 times, right? Going back and forth, just trying different game modes and stuff. So I noticed that if you go out the top, the animals that fly over when you do that are scripted to do that because they do that every time. If you go out the bottom, a stingray will swim underneath and then you'll drop into the water and you can watch it swim off. That will happen every time, the first time you open it. It's like cool. The world starts
so
there.
Unified experience.
Yeah.
Right? And I went out the top for the first time.
I think most people do because they don't think to look down, but the ladder's right there.
Yeah, I saw the ladder before the hatch as well.
So, I go out and I just look up and I'm looking at this big ass ship and I'm like, oh, well, damn. So, but then I just start panning and looking around and I'm immediately like, oh, fuck. There's no land anywhere.
Yeah.
I did eventually find like some little like sandy rocks that you could go up on, but there was really nothing of importance on any of the ones that I found. But then it was like, all right, well, I guess I got to go underwater. So I dove into the water and it was just freaking gorgeous down there. I do have a wish. We'll talk about that later on though. But those are basically my first impressions was like, okay. Oh, and the gameplay immediately reminded me of No Man's Sky.
Yes.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, there's a lot of similar gathering.
Totally.
I also imagine that the fact that the game is full of colorful bioluminescence did a lot for you.
Bruh. Yes. That was my favorite part of this game was when I would be in creative mode just going into caves deep underwater and suddenly like I go into this cave and it's illuminated by these blue and purple corals everywhere and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, this is cool as shit. So Mick, what about you, man? What was your first impression going in?
I mean, I almost dropped off of this game for one reason and one reason only. And I eventually did get used to it and figure it out. But the second that you find yourself in the water, you come to realize you cannot breathe for very long.
Yeah.
And I did not like at first the fact that you're going down trying to like find resources and catch fish, which you can only do by grabbing them at first because you don't have the tools you need to, properly restrain them. So you have to chase after them. You're looking for not just food, but you're also looking for water, which you can only get by grabbing bladderfish, which are very fast swimmers. So you find yourself chasing a bladderfish with a red, with a red thirst meter, and then all of a sudden you hear boop, boop, oxygen. You're like, fuck! Now I gotta swim up to the top, and then you lost the bladderfish, so now you're still hungry or you're still thirsty, and then you gotta go down. You gotta find it again. You gotta chase after it again. So the early gameplay was very, very stressful. And I think it was designed to be that way. Go ahead, Willie.
Did you notice the chest of emergency supplies in the life pod?
I did, but...
So you already ran through all the water?
I had already gone through all those.
Okay.
And yeah, survival was just getting harder and harder.
Yeah, it gives you 2 nutrition bricks that give you like 75, and then it gives you 2 bottles of water for, I think, 30.
Yeah. It gives you 2 bottles of water, and then it gives you 2 rations, which I think automatically bring your health up to 100, if I remember correctly.
I think,
or you're not your health, but your
plus 20, or plus 75 nutrition.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there's also a med kit maker on the ship too.
And at least there's that. Yeah, you don't have to worry about fabricating med kits, so at least you got that going for you. But no, I don't know. I generally found that it was a little bit frustrating at first because you're operating strictly out of the escape pod. You're like in between that point of like survival and then being able to do anything productive. I think even at some point when you do overcome that initial scare and that initial survival, that the PDA tells you like that it didn't expect you to live that long.
Yeah. It's like, I've now upgraded your chance of survival from impossible to unlikely.
Yeah, exactly. Which cracked me up, which, that just meant that, there's a chance that I can get off this planet alive.
I can't do that, Dave.
I'll also say that Altera, the company you work for in this game, one of the things I noticed when I first started playing is how much the script that they give you kind of reminds me of Fix-It from not Planet Crafter, Satisfactory.
Kind of, and I never played this game, but I got vibes of GLaDOS from the PDA.
There's a little of that too, yeah.
You've never played Portal?
No, I never played Portal. It's not something I would enjoy. I know it's a puzzle game, but I would get frustrated way too easily, so I just never bothered.
Fair enough.
Yeah, okay. It's not as hard as you think, but you know what?
Talos Principle, I think, will piss you off way more.
Really?
I mean, I love the Talos Principle, but I remember there was a couple points in it that Willie and Nate did not.
There were just a couple of points in the game where I feel like the puzzle ended up being more fidgeting in space rather than making an obvious concrete difference.
Aye.
And that could just be a skill issue on my part too. So
all right. Well then, how do we want to get into this, boys? Because there's no really. I mean, there's a story. None of us saw the end of it because we only had a week with it. I'm gonna go ahead and say I probably put the least amount of time into this game, and I put most of my time in creative mode. Which I did enjoy my time with in creative mode to an extent.
Yeah, there's definitely a chance you saw like greater depths than us, or like things we wouldn't have been able to reach. So that might be interesting. So
the things that I can talk about is I ended up in I think the deepest area of the caves that you can end up. So let's see. Spoiler warning throughout this whole episode because we're gonna talk about cool shit we saw.
Yeah, this game also has a narrative to it. Like, I I will also say I expected this game to be a lot lonelier than it is, but there's a lot of like radio messages you pick up, things happen. You're not necessarily you may be the only survivor, but there's definitely, you're like picking up on the signals that people sent as the ship is going down and trying to locate their pods and stuff. Yes.
So the first thing that I wanted to do was, all right, how deep can we go here, right? So, well, actually, the first thing I did was I went over by the Aurora and explored around there and saw my first Leviathan. This just giant sea serpent looking thing with like a pincer beetle's head or something. Like, I don't know how else to describe the way that those things look. But then I'm like, I just started going in a direction for a little while, and suddenly like the floor was just dropped out, right? So I was like, oh, let's just go down. And I was sending you boys screenshots as I was doing this because I was in pitch darkness. And I did find that there is a maximum depth that you can hit. But before that, you get a message on your PDA that's like, there are no life forms detected around here. But suddenly, I'm in this pitch darkness. I'm roughly 4,000 meters down. And I start hearing these. I hear these fucking noises and I'm like, what is that? I'm just keep going down. And from the side, these are the screenshots I didn't send you guys. Suddenly, this fucking Leviathan comes swimming by me, but it's completely bioluminescent and translucent.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
So they are called ghost Leviathans. Things are fucking pretty big. Pretty big. And, of course, I was in creative mode, so they couldn't damage me. They did try. And I also took out my knife and gave them a couple swings to get them to fuck off so that I could pull out my little, I don't know, desk fan with handles that makes me go faster. And
desk fan with handles. I forgot what they called it, too.
It's like a little...
I literally call it the scooter in my head because I don't remember what it's called.
It's a little scooter thing, yeah.
The
It's like
Sea Glide.
Jet propulsion. Yeah, the Sea Glide.
Sea Glide.
So I was just using that. So the max depth in this game is 8,000. I think it was 8,236 meters. And if you go past that,
it was 8,192.
Was it 8,192? Okay, so
yeah, because you sent me the number and I immediately recognized it as a power of 2.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I'm glad you remembered that. So yes, once you hit that, the game, you just go kerplunk and you're back up at the surface, roughly 100 meters away from your starting point on the ship or in your pod. So I was just like, oh, okay. So, and listeners, I'm just going to go through what I saw because these boys got a lot more in depth than me. So like this was my experience.
But I also didn't get as far down as you did.
Yeah, you went in a different direction than we did. I only got 5 hours into the narrative too. So
okay, well,
like I feel like I'm in between everyone kind of.
So I end up in these caves, right? Like, so I'm down and the PDA's like, there's a cave with bio whatever activity down there if you want to go check it out. It's however many meters to your east. Okay, so I make my way over there and there is a big hole in the ground. So I'm like, oh, let's check that out. So I go in there and I just start going down. And like you said, there's a lot of bioluminescence down there. There's like these mushrooms that glow, like these corals that glow. It's all very, very pretty.
Even most of the fish have some lights on them.
So I end up finding this spot that keeps going down. So I just kept going and it gets real dark, but my little Sea Glide's got a flashlight on it. We're good. And then I end up in this fucking cave where like everything is this bluish green hue to it. And there are rivers. So there's underwater rivers where it's like this other like denser water flowing.
Huh.
And
is that the lost?
Wound up in Bikini Bottom?
The Lost River? I think it's called the Lost River.
Yeah, the Lost Rivers or whatever that area is called. Yeah. So very cool looking with some freaky ass looking sea creatures down there. Yeah. So I end up going into one of the rivers, and then there's like, it's a little easier to see because the water is a different color, but like it's still pretty dark. Make my way even further down and further down. Suddenly, I'm in what looks like a Doom level. It looks like fucking hell. There is lava everywhere, just
Close
glowing red, evil looking ass area, right? And excuse me. Before I get there, when I'm still in the rivers area, I found the largest creature in the game, but it's not alive. It is a absolutely gargantuan skeleton that's down there. And it's this remnant of this giant sea serpent leviathan thing. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, if that thing's dead, I probably don't have much to worry about down here. So anyway, I get down into the hell area. And I'm just making my way around. There's like this volcano-ass looking thing. And I just see this big-ass shadow. And I'm like,
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck. What is that? What is that? And I get a little closer to it. And I don't remember the name of this thing. But when I tell you that it was about the size of 2 of the Leviathans that was around the Aurora, but I'm pretty sure it had 2 functioning arms towards the front of it and a dragon's head face thing, and it shot fire out of its mouth.
That's no bueno.
And I was like, how would you...
You found a Koopa
How
fish,
would
dude.
you handle this not on creative mode? Oh my god.
I don't think you do. I think you avoid.
Yeah.
I mean, even avoiding it, this thing was fast as shit, dude. Like, and so I looked it up, and when I was looking it up, this thing has a bite attack that will kill you in 1 hit. Its flame breath will probably kill you in 1 to 2 hits. Like, this thing is like danger incarnate down here. And I think it's got to be protecting something that I didn't find, because even on creative mode, when I found that thing, I fucked off. Made my way back up.
That's fair.
Swimming fast. Assless chaps got my buns out. Like, dude. So I spent most of my time exploring in this game. That's where I got the most enjoyment out of it. I did play normal mode, and the whole breath mechanic thing, I think we've touched on the way that I feel about that before. Wasn't a huge fan of that. And this game just reminded me, well, we could talk about that a little later. Cliffhanger. Let's, Willie, what about you? What was some of the things that you experienced?
I'll pop around and just say that I didn't have as much issue with the breath mechanic, because I thought that it was so obviously the thing that was holding you back that the moment I saw that you could build something in the fabricator, I'm like, okay, that's my first goal. I'm going to try to build a better oxygen tank. And so I only found that to be motivating rather than discouraging.
And then, Mikhailov, you were the one that I think discovered that you could hold more than 1 oxygen tank at once.
Yes.
You what?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what?
You could hold more than 1 oxygen tank at once.
What, could you like hot swap them?
Yeah. I mean,
oh my god, this changes everything.
To be fair, it does take up more space in your inventory, but I had 3 high quality oxygen tanks, and I would just, one would get like to the 10-second mark, I would just go into my inventory. And by the way, did any of you guys go into the options and turn on the relaxed PDA mode or whatever they called it, to where you're not losing health or thirst when you're looking at your PDA? I turned that on immediately.
No, I didn't know that existed.
No, I kept it on real time, or whatever it was called, whatever the default is.
I turned that on immediately. That immediately made the game more approachable to me. Just because I just
took PDA time as real game time, and if I wanted to pause, I hit the escape button.
I mean, that's fair too, but there's times I wanted to just, I don't know, look at the logs and all that. Apparently, if you have
I just did that when I was in my pod.
Well, if you have that turned off, and you want to have that be more realistic to where you're getting hungry and thirsty whenever you're looking at the PDA, apparently if you craft a chair and you sit in the chair, you do not lose hunger or thirst.
Huh. Interesting.
I also don't get hungry or thirsty while I sit here.
I don't think I've seen a chair recipe yet.
I mean, I do get both of those things, but...
Yeah, me too. I was just kidding. I'm hungry right now.
I am not, but you're going to make me hungry.
Because you had a fire-ass grilled cheese.
I did have a fire-ass grilled cheese after a fire-ass nap.
Fuck yeah, you're living large today.
Yeah, right? That's why I have just enough energy to be on the show right now.
Running off that cheese grease.
Yeah, right?
Get that butter animation.
Okay, so...
Should we maybe discuss, like, the plot for survival mode a little bit?
By all means.
Okay, so I mentioned earlier that what happens at the very start is you basically land. The PDA is kind of trying to walk you through basic survival principles. So you have a list of your goals. The PDA also kind of has a voice, and you're told a lot of the blueprints have been corrupt, so you'll be able to basically find them by finding ingredients for them. So you're encouraged to explore near the life pod. And while you're in the life pod, it's basically a base. It has a fabricator on it so it can build you new tools. So if you want to build a knife so you can get certain things dug up, you want to build a light so you can go at night or so you can go more than, a certain depth. You want to build a better oxygen tank so you can go underwater for a length of time. You want to build a rebreather so you don't start losing triple the oxygen at 100 meters.
Oh, the rebreather is major.
Yeah, that was a huge... Because, some of the stuff you want to find only really starts showing up at that depth. And if you're not able to get that deep, you're mainly just working with limestone materials and not sandstone.
Right.
And limestone only drops copper and titanium. Sandstone, that's where you get lead, ore, and silver.
And then I think...
And for some reason, a lot of the wiring requires silver instead of copper.
Yeah, and I think when you get into, 200 meters, then you start looking at, I think it's slate, and the slate will give
shale,
you...
maybe? I've seen shale.
Shale. I'm sorry. I got my S words messed up. You start to see shale, which is in a really, really nice location. It's actually called the Jellyfish Forest.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. I only found shale that was just
about
one rock out of nowhere.
Dalton would definitely, need to change his pants after seeing it, because he's all about the bioluminescence.
I found lithium in the one I found. Wait, no, I think I found a couple, because I think I found lithium in one and maybe diamond in another.
Well, there's a couple different locations where you can get lithium and diamond. Okay. But I would typically just go down to the Jellyfish Forest, and I had gotten to a point where I had built a couple of bases. And so...
God, that sounds like a SpongeBob area.
I got to be able to build a scanner room.
Oh, I want that so bad!
And when you get the scanner room, you get the blueprints for a HUD upgrade that basically is whatever your base is scanning for, you'll see it in the HUD. Funny thing about how that operates. When you build the scanner room, you also get a couple of cameras. And you can only scan for what the cameras see. So in order for me to be able to identify shale outcrops, I actually had to go to a terminal on the wall in the scanner room. I had to take control of one of the cameras, and I had to actually drive it into the Jellyfish Forest. And then I got there, and I set up a beacon, because there are no waypoints, and there really is no map either. This is one of those games...
So I was wondering if you ever unlock an actual map-like thing. But then I'm like, what would that look like?
Well, you see a map in the scanner room, and then I think when you have
the floater,
there's a map there, but it's
the sea glide. Yeah. It's like a map of the ocean floors. Contours.
It's a render. It doesn't really help you with direction.
Yeah.
You don't even know what direction you're going in until you craft a compass.
Yeah, in fact, the direction I was calling north for the first 2 hours of the game turned out to be the east.
Yeah. So was this a game, Willie, that you found yourself taking notes on the map, on paper?
I was going to start doing that, and then I hadn't yet, because I figured there must be a way to craft beacons, but I don't have that ability yet, so
I don't remember where I got the blueprint for beacons. I think it was just one of the life pods.
That's what I thought too. Okay, I know that there is a note I want to make, because I need to find Life Pod 4 again.
Yeah.
Because one of the other signals, the GPS data was corrupted, but it gave me a distance relative to Life Pod 4.
Gotcha.
So now I have to go find Life Pod 4, which I don't remember where that was. So that's a fun little submission.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you don't have beacons or you don't have things telling you where stuff is, it's really hard to find it. Because it's not as simple as pulling up pulling up a map and finding a waypoint. Or setting a waypoint.
Dude, every P on this planet is wet ass.
Wet ass, bro. Wet ass.
Wet ass points. That's what waypoint stands for, right?
I guess it'd be WAF, wet ass fish.
The joke is that 98% or so of the planet's covered by water. There's very little land.
Yeah, I got it, Willie. I got it. I didn't want it.
I'm telling the audience that, not you.
Lots of
you
water.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Bring a bucket and a mop.
Too much water.
Bring your viscera cleanup detail.
That's your...
What were we talking about now, Willie? Your dad joke.
We were talking about waypointing and navigation.
Actually, we're not even going to say dad joke. We're just going to say uncle joke at this point.
That was an uncle joke.
That was an uncle joke.
We were talking about
joke?
We were talking about waypointing and navigations.
Oh, there is none.
How there's no map.
Like you get lost. Like I honestly,
it's deliberately part of the point.
Yeah.
Like the first time you go into a deep cave, the PDA even tells you, "Hey, you know what happens to people that dive into caves? By the way, they get lost and they asphyxiate."
Yeah. Yep.
Like not quite in as GLaDOS a voice as I said, but in one that suggests that she doesn't especially care if it happens to you or not.
So did you make the mech suit? Did you get that far?
I didn't. No, I haven't even seen
Oh, no,
any
because
hints
you
yet.
haven't been on the ship yet.
No, I haven't gone back to... my next thing I was going to do after I found Pod 6 was to go back to the Aurora, because I do have the anti-radiation.
So...
gear. It's just then I got distracted by the landing of the Sunbeam, and I wanted to be there when that happened.
Did you know that was not going to end the way you thought it was?
What, the Sunbeam?
The Sunbeam, yeah.
I was 100% sure that what happened in that game was going to happen, yes.
Okay. Because I felt the same way.
That's exactly what, even on my way there, I'm like, these people are way too nice. They are absolutely doomed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This world has no room for nice.
So you were there when
the captain might as well have been like, in 3 days, I'm going to go retire and see my daughter again.
So you were there when it happened. So you saw the device actually begin to operate and just freaking blow it out of the water.
I didn't exactly expect it to look like that. That was really cool.
Yeah.
So I
didn't expect the whole building to fucking swim.
One thing I can add is I was just randomly swimming around when I just heard an insanely big explosion. And I was like, what in the ever-loving fuck was that? And it was when the Aurora blows up that first time. And I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know what happened, but I went back to my pod. And this game,
checked your radio
when
messages.
It gets nighttime, it gets dark as shit.
Yeah, it
right?
does.
It gets super dark.
It almost feels it's safer underwater almost because there's so much. At least you can see like glowing.
Yeah, on the surface, it's like, oh, this is fucking terrifying. Like,
you see a moon. And
so I go up on the top of my pod, and I just happen to look over at the Aurora, and it's this big glowing thing of fire now.
This
and I was
fireball.
like, what the fuck happened? And I was like, oh, I bet that's what that big boom was. Oh, okay.
See, and I watched the big
if
boom.
you pay attention to your radio enough, then... See, I thought it was going to be a game over event, so I tried to get far away from it, actually.
No, I went to the top of the escape pod, and I treated it... I like, get some popcorn, and I treated it like an event, because I'm like, there's nothing I can do to stop this. You know, spoiler alert,
No,
I did kind of look up what was going to happen, like, because I paused the game, and I'm like, do I need to stop this from happening before I get a game over, like you said? And a lot of the...
I figured there was no way I could stop it because it said radioactive whenever I got close, and I didn't have a radioactivity.
They gave you the radioactive soup, but yeah, you like I thought, dude,
after the explosion, right?
No. Oh yeah, it is after the explosion. Oh. Dang it, you're right. It is after the explosion.
It's literally just after the explosion that it gives you radioactive stuff. Because it's like,
apparently you can go in the Aurora through a glitch before it explodes, but it doesn't change the fact that it's going to explode. Like, nothing stops the explosion. So once I knew that, I just sat at the top of the escape pod and just watched it. I just watched it happen. Because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if it was going to, like, explode and sink, and I wanted to see where it was going to sink, because I figured that's how you explore the Aurora. You have to go in underwater.
Oh, like a shipwreck.
Yeah, like, I was actually kind of surprised that it stayed above water.
Yeah, it's just there, but on fire now.
Right, exactly. And when you go in,
But it actually made it a really useful navigational...
landmark.
What's the word I'm looking for?
It's a landmark,
Thank you, yes.
And you can stop the radiation leak once you get on board, and then you don't need the radiation suit anymore.
Oh, that's cool. I will probably head towards the Aurora when I get back to playing it. And I hope that doesn't spoil our rating too much when I say that I think we intend to play more of this game.
I think this game is definitely more than a week-old game, considering if you're playing it in survival mode. Like, ultimately, you do have to go down to where Dalton explored when he was just doing creative mode. Sorry, I zoned out for a second there.
You're good.
You ultimately do have to go down there. Like, that's your end goal, is to make your way down there. And in survival mode, that is extremely hard.
Yeah, I figure there's got to be a lot of stuff I'm going to need to do, including probably need to set up waypoints on the way down so I can even reach that kind of depth. And I bet it's really hard to get power down to that deep, too.
Yeah, you need to get nuclear reactors, because you're not getting power from the sun at that point. So
right, because your first base is solar power.
Right, exactly. So that's basically your end goal. So I never really got further down than 200 meters, like in my actual playthrough.
Yeah, I would say that I rarely went below 100 except for when I was looking for specific stuff.
But when you do explore the Aurora, you get the blueprints for the prawn suit. And the prawn suit is basically like a mech. So you can actually like walk on the seafloor. And you could get...
Oh, that sounds super
It's got tolerance down to 900 meters. I think they intended the prawn
really
suit
nice
to be something that you absolutely 100% need in order to get to the end of this game.
Well, considering so far the Aurora is one of 3 landmarks I can see from above water, I kind of figured I would have to go there.
Yeah. So, when you finally craft the prawn suit, the PDA tells you people who get into the prawn suit for the first time experience an unnatural sensation of feeling overpowered and godlike. Prawn operators spend months training to fight the sensation. You're just going to have to survive on regular willpower.
That's
like the PDA is freaking snarky.
I love even some of like the text entries, some of the a lot of the non-carnivore fish, the herbivores and scavengers, are rated as either edible or inedible, except the ancient floater, which is instead rated as incredible.
I didn't even see that, but that's hilarious.
Yeah, that really tickled me.
Yeah.
A lot of the descriptions are pretty great.
Yeah.
And I like that the planet seems to have like a kind of like the ecosystem, even there's hints as to where things evolutionarily diverged. Like the peeper fish, for instance, is closely related to some of the other herbivore fish.
Okay.
So you could like make out like those kind of
and
things.
I feel like those fish are like the
the
signature fish of the game. Like, they're the ones you see on the box art.
So.
Which, by the way, I probably should have mentioned, I played this on Switch 2.
Okay, cool. So we all played it on different platforms.
Yeah, no, I played this on Switch 2, mostly because I'm on a big Switch 2 kick these days. And I could have gotten it on Steam for like $9, but the physical Switch copy was $30, and it came with both Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero.
Nice.
So if we ever do Below Zero for the show, I've already got it.
Hell yeah. Planning ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, Switch 2 has this funny way of brute forcing its way through Switch 1 games and just making them run better. So I didn't feel like I had a compromised experience playing it on the Switch 2. It felt and played really well.
I wonder if
they'll good on my television and everything.
I wonder if there'll ever be a situation where the Switch 2 runs a Switch 1 game. Like, maybe it was like an indie game for the Switch 1 too well. Like, have you ever loaded up a really old computer game and it runs it at an insane frame rate because the game's not used to the new stuff, and it's just like you have to limit that shit or else the game just freaks out?
Yeah. No, I haven't seen that happen yet, mostly because Switch 1 games are, for the most part, rated at 30 frames per second, so brute forcing it to have it run 60 frames per second when it's a 30 frames per second game, it just runs a little better. It runs smoother. Mostly the big deal is the loading times. Like, the loading times are like cut in half for Switch 1 games.
Ooh, that...
I imagine that can be pretty huge for like Zelda and stuff where you're constantly moving between different like areas.
Yeah. Well, Zelda, the 2 Zelda games have Switch 2 versions, which make them run at like 120 now.
Oh, that's right.
Hell yeah.
Well, in docked mode, 120. I think the panel is still 60. Don't quote me on that.
I think it's 60 but 10. I think it's like 60 but 1440p.
It's 1080p. It's 1080p 60 hertz. But
that's right.
But that means like the Switch 1 games were meant to run 720p at 30.
Right.
So the Switch 2 will brute force a game to run in basically docked mode, but on the handheld. And then it'll look better docked. And that's whether it has a patch or not. I'm actually probably going to be doing something on this pretty soon on the channel. It's just...
I'd be very interested to learn more about the games that do support it versus the games that it just does it for it anyway.
Yeah, no, Doom Eternal is one of those games that just naturally runs better just because it's running on better hardware.
That makes sense.
I got my retro nerd rocks out now, so we should probably talk more about the game.
So here's a controversial opinion that I have. I would have preferred this game be Earth's ocean.
Really?
I would have preferred the underwater things that we came across to be real. Like, now with some fantastical stuff, throw in a giant sea serpent, throw in maybe a megalodon or something like that would have existed. Maybe even some sea dinos really deep down. But like, I don't know, man. Something about exploring like a barrier reef in a game like this, or, and seeing a bunch of like clownfish or whatever the fish Dory was, and like all the really pretty ass fish that we have in our own oceans, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the alien stuff was cool and all of that, but like I can see that in No Man's Sky. And that's what I kept coming back to.
I don't know.
It's like, it just made me want to play No Man's Sky. But that's just me.
I feel like No Man's Sky has,
I feel like
has
this game
less at stake, though. This has more of a immediate story to it.
And there's also less depth to the individual worlds in No Man's Sky. Like, ultimately, you do start to feel like they're procedurally generated. Whereas this world has a certain crafted sensibility to it, where everything is there's a narrative reason, evolutionary reason for things to exist the way it does.
Right.
And for things to be wrong where they're wrong.
I don't know. It was just, I don't know, something about it just... I'll tell you one thing it made me excited for.
I liked being lost in an alien world, too, because it also made me think of, like, Planet Crafter or Satisfactory and other games like that, where you start off with nothing on an alien world.
It made me very excited for Light No Fire.
Yeah, I can feel that, because, again, that game's going to have, like, a massive ocean the size of, like, 2
and they said that,
you
know, you're going to have to build a ship, and then, like, you and your friends have to man that motherfucker to cross the ocean. Like, imagine, like, say us, Nate, and Jeff, whoever we can get to play the game, like, having to sit down and be like, all right, boys, we need to make this trek across this ocean. Let's plot out what we need for it and everything. We have to get it on the ship because it's going to take us the next, 4 or 5 times we play to get fully across this ocean. Like, that's wild to me. It's wild.
Hopefully they can find a way to make, like, the challenges interesting for that.
Oh, dude, I hope they have fishing. So you just, like, we can just fish while we're sailing across the ocean blue.
I mean, if Sea of Thieves has taught us anything, it is possible to make just the open sea itself really interesting.
I still want to play that. I still really want to play that with you guys. I bought it on Steam and everything.
I know, we keep almost playing it.
I know, it's one of those always on one of the back burners for a choice, but gets...
It's a big commitment if we don't play it for the show, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
why I think it would be fun to do it for the show, because then we could be like, all right, we need to do this. So this night, and this night, let's thieve some seas.
Yeah, it will require scheduling. Yes,
might be a good one to do when, maybe Mikhailov's got like a week off from school.
I was gonna say, when there's summer break or winter or whatever. Winter break's gonna be busy this year, though. I might end up watching my nieces. Because I don't know. Let me ask you something off topic really quick. Just because
sure.
I gotta get my I gotta bitch for a minute.
Oh Lord.
Lord. Let's say hypothetically you guys had at least one kid.
Okay.
Let's also say hypothetically you wanted to go on vacation.
Right.
What's your immediate instinct?
Find something kid friendly and take the kid with you.
Right.
Or send the kid to grandma's house.
Right. I'm grandma.
Jeff is a duck. Nate is daddy. Team Retro is grandma.
I'm
it's
grandma.
Canon.
So whenever my brother and my sister-in-law decide that they need to be kid-free for a week, guess who suddenly has 3 kids for a week?
Did they not have anywhere else that they can store the goods?
Both my parents are gone. My sister-in-law's mother charges for babysitting. The kid's grandmother.
It's a power move.
Charges for babysitting.
It's going to be $20 and a pack of fucking Marlboros a day. You understand me? I got to deal with these kids. It might even be 2 packs, 1 per kid.
Yeah. So yeah, it's me. I'm the grandma.
If you don't come home with lasagna, you can't have your fucking kids back.
Wait a minute. I want lasagna now. Jeez.
Kind of me too.
Thanks, Dalton.
You're welcome.
I really want lasagna. Holy crap!
Hey,
Nice
Garfield?
good lasagna.
Yeah, I'm
lasagna.
channeling hardcore Garfield vibes right now.
Don't Google hardcore Garfield.
Getting garfed so hard.
At that point, John's saying
You can't tell me
"og"
what to
has a
do.
completely different meaning.
If you need proof of that, go watch Super Eye Patch Wolf has a video called "What the Internet Did to Garfield," and it's
Oh,
On second thought, yes, I have seen that, and yeah.
can I
That's a really
just
good video, by the way.
not say I did?
no,
It's a
I know
really good
his video
video.
is really good. I just wouldn't recommend actually googling that because you'll end up on a DeviantArt page you don't want to see.
You know.
But it's the parts about like Lasagna Cat and Garfield minus Garfield and all that were really well done and kind of expressed how, as a remixed creation, Garfield becomes more interesting than he was as just a comic strip or merchandise.
Yeah, there's way
character.
more to the video than the title makes it sound.
Yeah,
For sure.
Okay.
So what else?
they're good videos, Brent.
I wouldn't recommend you something that I wouldn't think you would like. That's like when I have music that I know that you and Nate aren't going to dig, I just DM it to Willie.
He does that pretty often.
Because there's pretty often that I'll
Fair.
hear a song and I'm
Actually
like,
got
God, this song rips, but it's got some in it. So I know that Nate's not going to dig it, and Mikhailov probably won't either. So
I'm okay with a good rrr sound every now and again.
yeah, every now
Pretty
and
sure
again.
I saw Megadeth somewhat recently.
Not the
Was it
I'm
Megadeth?
talking about, dog.
Oh.
Megadeth is good as shit, though.
I think that was the concert where I was just like DMing you guys pictures of random people and being like, "Oh, that's Nate at 60. Oh, that's Dalton at 60."
Yep. Yeah.
I
do
remember this
that.
now.
Yeah. I ended up, dude, let me tell you how freaking old I am. I went and sat down after a while at that concert. I found a place to sit down and doom scroll on my phone in the middle of a fucking Megadeth concert.
Dude, I tell you what, dude, when I and this was even 10 years ago, at a festival, by the time it's like main stage time, I'm looking for a nice place to sit, be it on the grass or in a chair, because I've been standing all goddamn day. I want to sit down and enjoy the final couple bands.
Yeah.
I don't want to get kicked in the head by a fucking crowd surfer or any shit like that, like I have been all day. I don't want to have to get into a fight in the pit. Like, goodness gracious.
You want a comfy chair, a bottle of water, and some orange
Fuck yeah, and I
slices.
want either the person that's with me, or someone that's just near me to fire up a joint and let's all have a good time. Because that, how many times I can tell you that either we would fire up a joint or someone near us would fire up a joint and be like, "You guys partake?" And be like, "Fuck yeah," and then we would fire up one and we would just sit there and no one, like the security, no one gave a shit. We weren't out there shooting heroin or anything. It was like, oh, just burning a joint and we're watching Lamb of God play. Like, it's fucking sweet.
Smoking a joint and listening to
Life's
Lamb
good,
of
man.
God. That's a good time right there.
It was a great show.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
No, I'm way past the point of being able to stand up in a mosh pit for a whole concert. And unfortunately, this venue was just all mosh pit. So I found a nice little sidebar. I waited for the concert to finish. I still heard them because they were loud. But I just lost all interest in standing there having drunk people like smash into me every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I
went next door and there's just quiet Sinatra playing. He just hears the boom of the concert. He's having a nice old-fashioned cigar, and he's just chilling back. And his friends come in like, "Where'd you go?"
I did order an old fashioned, but it wasn't a cigar.
No. I meant an old fashioned and a cigar. Sorry, I forgot the word "and" in there.
Okay.
I love old fashions, dude.
I couldn't smoke, but yeah, I had a nice little old fashioned, and dude, I just sat and freaking doom scrolled on my phone and listened to the band, and I was fine. My brother's 5 years older than me. He's gonna be 50 next year. He moshed his way through that whole concert. He's got more energy than me for sure.
Oh.
Oh man!
Like we saw when Jerry Springer was still alive. He was based out of Connecticut.
That would have been a good time to pick to see him.
Yeah, no, when he was still alive and the show was still running, we went. This was years ago, and I just remember all the stuff going down at the show, like the fights bringing out, the throwing water, like all the nonsense, and I'm just sitting there, just kind of absorbing it, like realizing the fact that I chose to be there. My sister-in-law is sitting there with her head down going, "Oh Lord, oh Lordy Lord, oh Lordy Lordy Lord." My brother's just standing up, hands in the air. Jerry, Jerry, Jerry. He was just completely and totally into it. And then we got to the Q&A segment, and some 70-year-old woman was like, "I want my Jerry beads." Just lifts up her shirt. I'm like, oh fuck. Had to be the 70-year-old.
What's amazing to me about Jerry Springer is that he was a mayor. He fucked the hooker. Mm-hmm. He got busted for fucking the hooker. And they were like, "Dog, you deserve a TV show." What a time the 90s were. I guess that was late 80s.
Yeah. No, Ricky Lake and Jerry Springer. Now, the 80s were Donahue and Sally Jesse Raphael.
You know that you can always go on Ricky Lake.
Didn't Arsenio Hall?
Arsenio Hall was around for a while in the 80s, yeah.
Yeah, Arsenio Hall was a show too. So
yeah, and then my era was Jerry Springer, Maury.
Yeah, Maury. Maury was based out of the same studio.
That's what I couldn't think of.
Actually,
that
when we went to Stanford, I'm pretty sure was it Stanford that used to have Titan Towers or still has Titan Towers, but I don't think they're based out of there anymore. Yeah, it was at Stanford. And so we went into the studio, and it was literally Jerry Springer was in Studio A, Maury was in Studio B, and then Steve Wilco was in Studio C.
I remember when he was just a security guard.
Yeah, he was a security guard on Springer, and then he
everybody
ended up with his own show. Yeah. Yeah, because then they would start going, "Steve, Steve, 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 Steve."
Yo, big bald guy. There's not enough trash television. We need you to do another TV show. Montel just ain't cutting it anymore. We're gonna put you right next door
to your old job. It's gonna be the same stuff, but you're gonna be the host.
We were talking about Jerry Springer and stuff at work the other day, and there's this older lady that I work with. Mama T is what we call her.
Okay.
And she goes, I just used to watch some of those Jerry Springer shows, and I just couldn't. How do these girls not know who the daddy is? I don't want to be a judge or anything, but how many men are you sleeping with that you don't know who the daddy is of your baby? Jeez. And I was
the answer is a lot.
And I told her too, I said, I know for a fact, actually, as the show went on, it all became staged and scripted. And because I know people who were on the show, and they told me, they pitched, okay, so you and you are dating, but you are cheating on you with your dad or with his dad. So that's the story. Let's run with it. And that's what they would do and stuff. But I think genuinely when that show first started out, it was a little, I won't say normal, but a little more grounded in reality. And then they started realizing that didn't sell as well as spectacle.
Agreed. Yeah, no, agreed.
And speaking of spectacle, Subnautica was a spectacle. So is there anything else that we want to touch on of that? Or do we want to get into ratings and then touch on what our next game is going to be? Because I'm pretty stoked about it, even though I'm not even really sure what kind of a game it is.
I'm ready to...
The art style
I'm ready to start wrapping things up, I think. It's getting a little late on my end, and we've been bullshitting for a while.
All right, then.
Yeah, I feel like for a show where we all admittedly came in either with low energy or something, I feel like we brought a lot of talk to this one,
Yeah, I agree.
So, Willie, since this was your pick, I'll let you throw it a rating first. And this is a rating based on a week.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm going to say this is one of those a week and keep goings, and I feel like this is also the score I always give to a game that I want to give a higher score but haven't got there yet. Is I don't necessarily feel like I'm going to give it a 9+ yet, but it absolutely deserves no less than 8.5. Like, I really think this is one of the most fun survival type games I've ever played, and I look forward to it because exploration is so baked into the mechanics of it that I'm looking forward to seeing what other biomes the undersea world has. They've been so imaginative. I've not even seen the jellyfish forest he was talking about, but even just like the red forest was beautiful to me. The part where it suddenly just gets like really mesa-y versus like the big drop-off cliffs. Like, there's so much variety, even just within like a 2-kilometer circle of the wreck of the Aurora, and that's without me having ever gone east of the Aurora.
Okay, so what are you giving it as a rating?
So I'm going to give it that 8.5, okay. Which means I know it's better. It's better than an 8. Let's say 8.5 peepers out of 10
there
bleached
you go.
waters.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, because I'm not going to give it a 9 yet because I don't think I've played enough of it to say it's going to stick 20+ hours of landing out of me, but I definitely want to try.
Fair enough. What about you, Mick? There's a Butterfree in the background.
I love my little Lego Butterfree. I'm very torn as to what to give this game. Because I kind of want to give it a higher score, but then I have to say 7 out of 10 too much water. Just for the freaking memes. But no, I'm gonna give it an 8 fabricators out of 10 PDAs. Just because the game has hooked me, and now that I'm actually at a point where I'm, able to survive and gather food and get water, somehow managed to like make bleach out of like salt and then turn that into water. Wait. You don't know how to make the better water?
No. I do know how to make the better water. I wanted to say, if you're still hurting for water, though, if you go back up to the island where the sunbeam was supposed to land, if you use your knife and chop at the trees, you get a drop that gives you like 12 water and 10 food.
Oh, that's good to know. No, I'm not hurting for water anymore because
the only thing is it uses 4 inventory slots, so you can't just carry a bunch of it around.
I have plenty of water. I have enough salt, and you take salt and you take coral, which is plentiful, and that becomes bleach, and then you fabricate the bleach into 2 disinfected waters, and you're good to go for water. I don't want for water anymore. It's pretty easy to get now. And food, I just throw out a graph trap, grab whatever fish I can, and just eat it. But no, this game has hooked me. I want to get to finish it at some point eventually. It's going to be hard with our next pick and with Legend ZA coming out tomorrow, but I am invested in this game, and it has sunk its claws into me enough that I feel like giving it less than an 8 is doing it a disservice. So, just same thing as I said to Dalton last episode, Willie, this was a phenomenal pick.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Like, I was just hoping it would give us a fun exploration game, a fun scare or two, a fun little thrill of survival, anything. Like, I didn't know what to expect from it. And I'm happy that we all enjoyed it in our own levels, although I haven't asked Dalton for a number yet. Dalton, how'd you feel about it?
First and foremost, I'm going to be very curious what you boys think when we get to games like The Forest or Green Hell.
Yeah, because I tend to be skeptical about that thing. I don't think I like survival games, but I think it's maybe just the really gritty and realistic ones that I'm thinking I don't like, because I've enjoyed survival mechanics in every game when we've played them.
Yeah, and Green Hell, you're dropped in the middle of a jungle, and you just have to find resources and survive, and all the things that come with a jungle. And that game is really pretty, but it's also hard as shit. And The Forest is pretty cool, but there's do both of you know anything about The Forest? Because I don't want to spoil what we had to deal with in that game if you don't.
I don't really know anything about it.
I won't say anything. But there is something that you have to deal with in that game that makes it very, very tense, and you have to survive.
Is Slender Man there? You have to pick up all his pages?
So, not Slender Man, but you're also not super far off. I don't want to give it. It's not.
It turns out to be one of his.
No.
buddies.
It's not anything supernatural. But you do have to worry about being stalked, and I'll just put it that way.
Okay. Okay,
But
cool,
they're
that's
very
good.
like the Forest would be another one that's like a good Halloween game because there is some freaking horror in that. And that the horror of Green Hell is just you're in the jungle, and I think there are cannibals.
You're gonna die.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna die. So yeah, when we get to those games and stuff, I think that'll be a good time as well. So Subnautica, I thought it was very pretty. I really enjoyed the different biomes that I explored. The kelp forest with the glowing yellow bulbs everywhere was really cool.
Yeah. That's like right at
Yeah.
the start too. That's like the first new biome I discovered. Because I think, did all of us also all go opposite ways from the Aurora through, like if you drew a line from the Aurora wreckage through your life pod, did you all keep on following that direction basically? The first time you swam out?
I don't remember. I think I just like if you would have been looking at the Aurora standing on the top of your pod, I would have turned to the right or to the left like 70 degrees and then went that way.
Oh, so you went towards where the actual land would have been.
Yes, because I did find some land randomly and was like, "What the fuck is this?" But so
That's
I really enjoyed exploring. The mechanics in the game were hit and miss with me personally, but like I did, like I said, enjoy creative mode a lot. I liked building the little, rooms and stuff and going in there and making windows so I could basically just have this thing where I could go in and just use it as an observatory, like an aquarium. But it didn't quite get its hooks into me the way that it seems to have with you guys. And I don't think that's...
I wonder if half of that has to do with the holding your breath thing.
And that's a possibility too, is that I do not like underwater stuff.
You mentioned that about Dave the Diver too.
Yeah, it's just something that's weird about me. I don't know why. I also, when I was a child, was worried about sharks getting me in my swimming pool. So, like, take that for what you will.
Again, I don't know if I've sent you that my brother and me glass shark bit, but the guy was like so afraid the shark would get him in a swimming pool. Like, you can't see the shark. Doesn't matter. It's made out of glass.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, I look around and there's no shark, but as soon as I close my eyes or I turn my back, it's there. Shark. And it's gonna get me.
Yeah, exactly. I've got to send you that bit. Then. It's really good. You would relate to it.
But
glass shark. He loved the fat kid.
I give a Subnautica. I'll give it 7 Leviathans out of 10 Ghost Leviathans.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Ghost Leviathan. All I've seen is the Reefback.
So,
and that one, honest.
So he is going 7 out of 10 too much water.
Ha!
Now,
well, it's not too much water. It's too little air.
I do want to tell you, Willie, if you'll save and then go to where the cliff drops off into the crater or whatever, just start going down. You will see a Ghost Leviathan. They just show up. They find you. They're really cool looking, though. They're really cool looking. I would almost tell you to start a creative save to do that, though, so that way you can really appreciate looking at them without immediately dying. Because it could swim up behind you and kill you. You'd never even get to see it.
Please do not feed the wildlife.
Yeah, exactly. Stab it with your knife instead.
Oh, that's also one thing I really meant to say I appreciate about this game, is if a fish attacks you, if it, like a predator comes at you, and you give it a good whack with your knife, usually they're like, okay, my bad, sorry, dude, I didn't know it was like this. Yeah, which almost every other game has these ridiculously tenacious monsters that don't care if you're killing them the whole time. They'll watch you mow down like 8 of their buddies and be like, I think I can take it.
Those goddamn sand shark things were constantly coming at me, and I'd whack it with a knife, and it would scurry off real quick. And I was like, "That's what I thought, motherfucker.
Yeah,
leave me alone."
I literally said that. I literally said that's what I thought. Or don't start one, won't be none.
Fuck around, and find out, you stupid fish.
Fuck around, find out. Yes. Play stupid games, win fishy prizes, win stabby prizes.
You want to be sushi? Because I'll make you sushi.
I still got some Dave the Diver left in me.
Oh man, well. Our next episode is Mikhailov's pick, so I'm going to let you tell everybody what it is, man, before we get into the house cleaning and get up on out of here.
So, I've been wanting to play this game for a while. I do have it downloaded on my Switch. I have a physical copy. I don't know what it is about this game that really makes me just genuinely interested in seeing what it's about. So, because of the kind of horror-ish undertones that this game has, I feel that spooky season is the perfect time to go about playing it. So you also know me and scary games don't necessarily mix all that well, and I feel like this one is a pretty good happy medium to what one might argue would be a fairly tame Spooktober this year. We are going to be playing Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah. Devolver Digital.
Big looking forward to this. That style is so cool.
It is very, very cool.
Like the use of like the flat colors and just the really geometrical shapes. Everything looks really neat about it.
Mikhailov, I do want to say, though, I've been a fan of PlayStation Access for a long time.
Uh-huh.
Dave from PlayStation Access, not a fan of horror games. They freak him the fuck out.
Yeah.
Some of the best content on PlayStation Access is every October when they make Dave play scary shit.
And he freaks the fuck out?
Dude, the one time they put him in a VR headset and they had him play Until Dawn, the on rails like roller coaster is Until Dawn Blood Carnival, some name like that. He literally at one point just like cowered and then just grabbed the headset and shakily just took it off and was like, I'm done.
Wow.
And here's the thing, the game's not even super duper scary, but like because it's VR, it's right in your fucking face. So it was just really, really entertaining. And when Ash was there, she would put him through playing some scary games, and it was always a good time. But it's always for the entertainment value. Like, you're not, like, hoping he has a heart attack or anything. It's just genuinely silly. So I just promise you that if I ever throw anything super scary at you, it's because I just know that your reaction is going to be silly.
It's for the memes.
And I don't expect you to beat it. Yeah. Like
we still have to do a round of Phasma, even though I really don't want to do a round of Phasma. Of Phasma.
That just makes us want to put you in VR for it.
It really does. Like, I'll play it in VR. I have to play that in VR too, so I would do that as well.
Yeah. You have to.
He does have it in VR also, but I think he doesn't work very well.
You have to catch me
outside. How about that?
Yes, you have to catch me outside. How about that? No, you have to catch me before I decide to sell the VR headset, because I don't know. I'm kind of meh on the whole VR experience. I don't know if it's just not there yet, or if it's just not for me.
I think the problem is that I still feel like the only killer app is Beat Saber.
Beat Saber, Ragnarok.
Like, Ragnarok, probably Super Hot, Thrill of the Fight, and
the Sunshine, Arizona Sunshine games are pretty cool. They're like the zombie shooter games.
Half-Life Alyx.
Half-Life Alyx. So there are a bunch of games that are really good for VR, but the thing is it's still very, very niche.
Yeah.
So
I mean, my thing would probably be to give No Man's Sky a try.
That also sounds really cool. I'd love to see Elite Dangerous in there myself.
But I also worry that that's gonna freaking make me motion sick.
It probably will. Honestly, if we didn't do it for the podcast, my intention was to never play Doom 3 until I could play it in VR, because I felt like that would be the only way I'd really enjoy it.
Really?
That would be pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I still think I'd like to give it a try.
Yeah, I
don't know if you remember the Doom 3 episode, but it was like a much more slow-paced horror game that really didn't have a lot of the gameplay of Doom.
And
I remember you mentioning that, yeah.
One of my first Doom game experiences, other than like as being a young child just playing Doom 2 on a computer at a friend or my dad's friend's house. Yeah. I'm sorry. No, I played Duke Nukem over at his house, so I had never even played Doom before Doom 3. So that was so I had no reason to be like, this isn't Doom. I just was like, this is fucking like first-person Resident Evil. This is sweet. But I still will die on the fact that Doom 3 is a good game. It's just not a good Doom game. It is a good survival horror shooter, though. BFG edition.
Do you feel that the newer Dooms are more Doom than Doom 3?
Oh, fuck
absolutely.
Yeah.
Really?
Fuck
That's saying something.
They have their own identity for sure, but they're definitely closer to the first two.
I think Doom 3 is closer to like the Fear games than it is Doom.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
But still a fun game, though. I did prefer, again, I think we talked about this on that episode, the original Doom 3, where your flashlight wasn't taped to your gun. So if you wanted to shoot at stuff, you had to put your flashlight away and pull out your pistol, which made things infinitely scarier.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took a lot of half measures to try to please the people that didn't think the game was a good enough action game, and it still wasn't a good action game, but they made it a worse horror game too.
I feel like Subnautica has kind of some of those same vibes. You have to put away your flashlight to do a lot in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've noticed that. That's why I'm really grateful that there's the map on the sea breeze or whatever it's called glows.
There's also lights on that thing. Also, if you get out of the sea moth, the lights on the sea moth stay on, so you could kind of shine.
I haven't built a sea moth yet.
The lights where you want them to be, and they will kind of illuminate the area for you.
That makes it worse. That's like in a horror movie when they just have their car and they point it towards the field.
Oh.
With the headlights.
I tell you, playing in Subnautica, and I'd be down underwater and everything. I'd be like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. And then it would get dark, and I'd still be like, oh, okay, just going around. And then I would go up to the surface and just look around at how dark it was, and I'd go, no, yeah, I still have thalassophobia, totally. Absolutely. 100% still got it. Didn't go away. This is terrifying.
I really do feel like surfacing at night was way scary, especially because they had that huge, nasty red moon is often the first thing you see when you pop out of the water. That or nothing.
Yeah. And it's like you can just see like faint wave ripples because of starlight and stuff, but that's about it. And it's just like, dude, if I was just floating in the middle of an ocean, I'd probably just have a heart attack and die. And that would be how I would go. I probably wouldn't drown. I'd probably have a heart attack and die from fear. 100%.
Man.
Yeah, like that movie Open Water. Never been interested in watching it. Nope, no thank you.
No. I would rather watch Hostel.
Yeah. I'll watch gore porn over Open Water because that is just like one of my worst fears put to film, and no thanks. On that note, since we're talking about scary things, let's talk about the things that are really scary. Like, the scariest thing that you can do, which is leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify. It really helps us out in the algorithm. And
give us 5 stars or we'll give you 10 scars.
And if you leave a 5-star review on iTunes and you put some text with it, I do check that every now and then. And when we get new ones, I read them on the show. So that's always cool. If you want to put in a funny joke in there or just, leave us a good review, that'd be nice. It helps people find the show. I'm very bad with promoting. You want to join the Discord? That's where the cool shit is. That's where all the people are. I used to plug our social medias, but like I said, I'm bad at promoting, and social media sucks. Discord is cool. Our Discord is awesome, and it is bit.ly/TSMP Discord, DISCORD, all capital letters, all one word. That gets you a link in, and you can come join in on the shenanigans, vote on the polls that we have for the listener-chosen games. I did change the name of the Discord recently because it was like...
I did see that.
It's more than just the Steam Machine podcast now. So, we've got Steam Machine section. We've got Team Retro section. We've got Spectre Approved. We've got Dane and Jess Media Dump. We got Grumpy Jess Pro Wrestling Power Hour. Like, there are multi-facets to it now. So I felt it only appropriate to change it to TSMP Productions as more encompassing, I felt like, instead of just being like the Steam Machine and Friends. So
I'm involved.
Yeah. So come join the Discord. We're all a cool little community in there. I'm very happy with that. To the fact that like there have been some touchy subjects brought up from now and then, but everyone has always stayed adult and didn't break out into arguments, name calling, or anything like that. And I very much appreciate that. Though I do hope that those conversations stay few and far between. Everybody, let me just put that out there too.
Yeah, there have been a few I tried not to jump into because I'm like, I'll get too heated. I gotta just let them have it.
So you can check out the website, bit.ly/The Steam Machine Podcast, capitalized phonetically. Patreon, if you want to donate to the show, it really means a lot. Patreon.com/The Steam Machine Podcast. That's just all lowercase letters. Donate $1 or more a month gets you the episodes early, and you get the Patreon only banter for the people who donate to the show. There's a hefty little chunk of it this week. And if you donate $10 or more, you get your name read, or you get all of that plus your name read on each and every episode, like these wonderful, wonderful people. Nate Sir Cogsworth, the 7th of Juniper, Jeff the Original Expendable, Mr. Syllables, Old Jeffy Lube. Also, he is a duck, the RPG, Wolverine, Logan Joreed, Areser Adam, shout out to his podcast, Spectre Approved, Old Granny Team Retro, check him out on YouTube. Mr. Puzzles, Dane himself, and Flying Brian Doran Gray. I love you all very, very much. Shout out to JRPG Report. Shout out to Grumpy Jess Pro Wrestling Power Hour. And shout out to Team Retro on YouTube, man. Plug your stuff.
Go check out my Ally and Ally X First Look video. Let me know in the comments what you want to see when I do get my ROG Ally retail unit. And my next review is going to be on the AYN Thor. So if you want to see anything specifically DS or 3DS related, let me know.
Can I give a
Discord?
Let me give you a suggestion. Mm-hmm. When you get the Xbox Ally, are you getting the Xbox version, right?
Yeah, I'm getting the white one.
I'm
not getting the super powerful one.
Okay. I would try to run some Xbox games on it since it's themed like towards that. That's probably what people are going to be looking at it for. I'm
actually going to be doing my first ever Xbox emulation video with it.
Oh, beautiful. That was going to be my suggestion.
I feel like that's nothing but appropriate that I should actually
finish the fight.
Try and see if I could emulate Xbox games on it.
I need to peek my head into how Xbox emulation is doing these days, because I remember Nintendo was way far ahead of it. PlayStation was pretty far ahead of it, because now PlayStation, you can emulate up to PlayStation 3, I believe, relative ease.
Xbox is still pretty. It's kind of up and coming. I think it's genuinely a little harder to emulate than other systems for some reason.
I literally just want to emulate
That's weird too, because I thought I remembered PS3 being a weird architecture, because they were always talking about that emotion engine or whatever.
Yeah. I firmly believe that PlayStation 3 emulation got as good as it did because people wanted to play Skate.
Oh, that's 100%. Very possible. Yeah,
because 360 is a pain in the dick, and that was the only other system the Skate was available on. There's like a handful of OG Xbox games that I would want to emulate, right? And that's about it. Conquer Live and Reloaded was original Xbox. There was a game called Amped 2. It was a snowboarding game, and it was badass. But one of the things in that game that was super cool.
Amped 2 is a great freaking game.
Dude, it was fantastic. And the fact that you could get a skateboard with a ski on the bottom of it and skateboard down the fucking mountain was super cool to me. So, I want to replay that really, really bad. And there's a couple other Xbox games that I played. One of them was like a Haunted Mansion style game that was great as well. And then the couple others that I can think of that I really liked on Xbox, I have on PC, the original Battlefront and Battlefront 2, Star Wars.
Yeah.
And things like that. I think Hurdy-Gurdy is another one that I would love to emulate. But yeah, there's just some things that I need to check in and see how that's going.
Well, stay tuned to Team Retro, and I'll see what I can do.
Good, man. I look forward to that. Willie, before I ask you if you've got anything to plug, I want to tell you that the last notes that I took in our Google Doc are from the free episode of Halloween, either last year or the year before, because it's last year, because it's kiosk, Cleanie's window service, security booth.
Nice, man. That was a pretty good crop. I actually really enjoyed that up.
Yeah. It's this year's free episode is going to be interesting as well, because I believe, ladies and gentlemen, I think we worked it out last week that we have 5 weeks in this October, so we still will have a week for freebies.
So yeah, even with the 1 week shift, we may still have time. So,
but
we might be able to make it work so that way the freebies episode comes out on actual Halloween.
That's what I always try to do, but I'm not always successful with that.
Well, Halloween's on a Friday this year? Wait, is Halloween actually on a Friday this year?
'Tis, yes.
Hallelujah. I don't have to deal with teaching on November 1st.
Oh yeah, the day after Halloween.
Like kids got the candy hangover?
Oh, they're horrible on the 1st, because they all come in with their candy. They're all hopped up on sugar, and it's just
sugar demons.
Yes, sugar demons.
Well, speaking of sugar demons,
you know what would make teenagers even better is if they're just full of Babe Ruths.
Dude, I love a Baby Ruth. Fuck, those are good, man.
Baby Ruths are very good.
Those are tasty. They're like, what if you took a payday and just wrapped it in some chocolate? It's good.
A winner of an idea
for sure. I love paydays. They don't get enough love. I was just telling my dad today, a bar that I really like, that I feel like is underrated, Mr. Good Bar.
It is a very
chocolate
good bar.
and peanuts. That's all it needs, and it's so good.
Yeah.
The thing about Payday is like the Snickers Satisfies commercials. I really feel like that should have been about Payday bars instead, because that one, like, I feel like that has some staying power to it. You know,
Payday is like the only candy bar that if I eat the whole king size bar, I am full.
Yeah.
It's like there are enough peanuts on that thing that it's like having a bag of peanuts. You know,
You like to
Good.
munch on these
with
nuts?
some tasty caramel.
these nuts. Willie, you got anything you'd like to plug, sir?
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but I just wanted to send a shout out to anyone who's ever worked on an emulator or a compatibility layer, because I do not understand how you wizards make one computer think it's another computer, but that is some real good stuff, man.
Hell yeah. All right, then we will be back next week to talk about some Cult of the Lamb. So until then, everybody,
Meh.
I guess go join a cult and
Meh.
take it easy.